Okay, so we want to add together a bunch of numbers in a row. So that means we're going to be using summation, which is the sigma. And we want 90 numbers. So we're going to start 1. Let's put, okay, you know what? It's really hard to draw K, so I'm going to use N. Okay, and nah, I can't do that. I'll use K. Or let's use X. That's easy to draw. X equals 1. Okay, because we're starting at 1 and we want 90 numbers, so we're stopping at 90. Okay. So how do I get the first odd number? What is the first odd number? It's 1, right? So how can I get that? Well, let's just think about something easier. Let's think about how can I get any even number? Any even number is 2, it's 2 times a number, right? 2 times a number is an even number. That's literally the definition of an even number. It's something that can be divisible by 2. So 2 times a number. So let's put 2 times x, okay? But the very first number for x is 1, right? So if I start with 1, 2 times 1 is 2. Does that give me my first odd number, which is 1? No, it doesn't. So how can I get to 1 if I have 2 right here? Because it's 2 times 1. That's 2. I want 1. So I can just put simply minus 1, right? Because if it's 2, because I plug in the 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, right? So then I have my first odd number. And then every time I go up in x, like my next one is 2, right? 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6, minus 1 is 5. And notice that every single time I plug in the next x, it gives me the next odd number, right? So this is definitely the equation for an odd number. Okay, now how do we actually solve this? Because I'm not about to add up 90 numbers. That'd be ridiculous. So you can use the these are summation rules now. I got 2 separate pieces, right? I got 2x and I got minus 1. So this is the same as equals sigma, boom, x equals 1 to 90. Is this the right color? Yeah. Of the first piece, which is 2x, plus the second piece, plus, can I just copy this? Hang on a second, let me see if I can do this easily. Select, ooh, popular me, select, ooh, there we go, boom. Same thing, right? That doesn't change, but what is the next piece I have here? It's the negative 1, so negative 1. And why would I do this? Because there are rules with these 2 pieces right here. There's rules, okay? So this right here, this 2 I can move to the outside. I'm just multiplying. So I'm multiplying the 2 onto the outside. So this is the same as 2, and then give me one of those. And what's left on the inside is just the x. There it is. Oops. X. Move this 2 a little bit. There we go. Move this x. There we go. So that, and then we're adding plus, boom, plus the second piece, which is just, we're going to use a rule here. Okay, so looking at the second piece, the rule here is when you're starting at 1, right? When we're starting at 1 and there's a solid number right here for the summation, then the rule is to find what this whole thing equals. You just take the solid number right here, that's negative 1, right? Negative 1, and you multiply it by the stop number, which is 90. So we're going to multiply these 2 numbers, and that is the whole sum for this second piece right here. That's the rule, okay? That's one of the summation rules. Okay, so that one's going to be obvious. Now what about the rule for this? When you're starting at 1, and this term right here is your variable. You see how it's x and x, right? When we're starting at 1, then the rule here is going to be the stop number, so that's 90, right? 90 times the stop number again, 90, plus 1 divided by 2. That is the rule, okay? That's the summation rule when you have the same variable right here and here, and you start at 1. Okay, now remember though, on the outside of this, we do have the 2, so we have to multiply this whole thing, oh my gosh, this whole thing by 2. Okay, and then we're gonna add the second piece. Negative 1 times 90 is negative 90. So I'm gonna use this color. Plus negative 90, which is the same thing as subtracting 90. So I'm just gonna take this plus away, minus 90. There we go. So we're just gonna subtract 90. But then also notice this, you see the multiplying by 2 and the dividing by 2, that's gonna cancel, goodbye. So now we just have 90 times 90 plus 1, which is 91, minus 90. Minus 90. 90 times 91 is 8190. Minus 90 equals 8100. And that is equal to this whole thing right here, which is the first 90 odd numbers. So this right here, 8100, is your answer. Boom.